Whispering changes. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the quaint village in hues of gold and pink as its inhabitants went about their daily routines. The scent of freshly baked bread wafted from Agnes Harper's cottage, mingling with the sweet fragrance of blooming wildflowers. Laughter echoed like music from the village square where children played, their carefree joy a sharp contrast to the undercurrent of tension that had recently unsettled the adults. Among them, Clara Moss stood quietly, her wild curls dancing about her face in the soft breeze. The fiery spirit within her was stifled, caught between her dreams of adventure and the expectations of tradition. Lately, she had felt a growing restlessness, a whispering change in the air that beckoned her to explore the world beyond the village borders. But the thought of stepping away from the familiar filled her with uncertainty. As the evening drew near, Clara found herself wandering to the old oak tree at the center of the village square, a place where secrets were shared and dreams were whispered. Under its sprawling branches, she spotted Elara Winslow. Her bright green eyes mirrored the hues of the fading sky as she engaged in animated conversation with a circle of young women. Elara had returned to the village after years of pursuing her career in the city, bringing with her an air of curiosity and newfound wisdom. "Clara," Elara called, gesturing her over with a welcoming smile. "We were just discussing the changes brewing in our village. Have you felt them too?" Clara approached, hesitant yet intrigued. "There's something in the air." "Something different," she admitted, glancing at the faces surrounding her. Each woman, young and old, wore a thoughtful expression, as if grappling with untold stories brimming just beneath the surface. Agnes Harper stepped forward, her silver hair glinting like starlight. "Everyone, listen. Change is like a river. It may alter the landscape, but it gives life in its wake. We must navigate its waters together." The words resonated with Clara, firing her imagination. Could they truly reshape their lives if they embraced the changes surrounding them? Sensing the mounting support, she found her confidence growing. "Let's explore what this means," she suggested fervently. "We can't let fear define our future." "Fear can be a friend too, Clara," Agnes replied gently, her tone imbued with warmth. "It teaches us to be cautious while pushing us to break boundaries." The conversation spilled forth, revealing layers of solace, fear, and yearning. Together, they contemplated their dreams and aspirations, a melody of unvoiced desires intertwining with laughter under the watchful eyes of the old oak. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows, Elara felt a surge of purpose. "What if we host a gathering at my grandmother's cottage? We can share our stories, confessions, and dreams. Maybe it will help us find our direction in all this uncertainty." An excited murmur filled the group, and Clara could feel the collective energy igniting hopes. The air around them buzzed with possibilities, and she clasped her hands in anticipation, envisioning a lush tapestry of narratives woven together in that cozy cottage. As dusk drifted into night, the group reluctantly disbanded, glowing with an electrifying combination of uncertainty and hope. Clara lingered a moment, gazing up at the oak tree as if seeking guidance from its twisted branches. Tomorrow they would gather, and she felt that something more awaited them, the promise of change, the sweet whisper of freedom woven into the fabric of the village. That night, as Clara lay in bed, the moonlight spilled through her window, illuminating her face with its silver glow. She dreamt of vibrant meadows and distant shores, of laughter echoing like a call to adventure. Clasping the soft fabric of her pillow, Clara vowed to confront the coming changes with open arms. Little did she know, the journey ahead would challenge her perceptions of love, friendship, and identity, ushering forth a new dawn that would forever alter the quiet village and the lives of every woman within its embrace. The winds of change were stirring, and Clara was ready to dance along with them. The gathering of wisdom. The morning sun spilled its golden rays across the village, dusting the rooftops with warmth as Elara Winslow made her way through the familiar streets. She was filled with a sense of purpose as she approached her grandmother's cottage, its weathered stones and vibrant flower beds standing as a beacon of comfort and wisdom. Flickers of excitement danced in her chest. The gathering she had envisioned was moments away. Inside, the comforting aromas of freshly baked scones and herbal tea filled the air. Agnes Harper shuffled about, radiating warmth like the sun itself. Elara watched her grandmother's movements with admiration, tracing the lines of time etched on her face. Each wrinkle told stories of love, loss, and resilience. "Elara, dear, everything is almost ready," Agnes called out, a smile lighting up her features as she set a plate of scones on the dining table. "The girls will be here soon." While Agnes hummed softly, Elara arranged handmade invitations, the ones she had fashioned from delicate paper and pressed flowers, on the table, each one representing a doorway to a shared journey, a connection to be forged among the women of the village. Before long, the door creaked open, and Clara entered, her energy bursting forth like a sunflower reaching for the sky. "Good morning, Elara. I brought some wildflower blooms to brighten the table," Clara exclaimed, her cheeks flushed with excitement. The two worked side by side, arranging the blossoms in a quaint vase, their laughter intertwining with the heady scent of tea brewing on the stove. One by one, women of varying ages began to arrive. Different voices filled the room as each one brought their own essence, contributing to the rich tapestry of the gathering. Agnes welcomed every woman with open arms, her presence immediately diffusing any lingering shyness. It wasn't long before the table was laden with stories, from Bea's colorful murals that spoke of defiance, to Samuel's struggles as a single father trying to be a strong role model for his daughter. Each woman's experience added depth to the conversation, transforming the room into a sanctuary of shared wisdom. After settling in, Elara cleared her throat, her heart racing with both anticipation and trepidation. "Welcome, everyone. I'm so grateful you all could come. I thought this gathering could be a space to explore changes." The room hushed, every face turned towards her, eyes glimmering with curiosity. "I know we've all felt the shifts taking place around us. The world is asking us to reassess who we are, what we desire, and how we connect with one another," Elara continued, her voice steadying. "Let us share our fears and dreams. Find strength in each other's stories." Encouraged by her grandmother's unwavering support and Clara's bright smile, Elara invited Clara to start. Nervously, Clara rose from her seat, her voice slightly wavering as she shared her restlessness, her yearning for adventure beyond the village. "I've always dreamed of traveling, of discovering what lies on the other side of the hills," she admitted, noting the approving nods of encouragement from the others. "But part of me feels trapped by tradition, by what is expected of me." Beatrice leaned forward, her eyes alight. "Clara, you inspire me. It's easier to be bold when the world feels like a canvas waiting for a masterpiece, isn't it?" As Clara absorbed the meaningful exchange, a sense of camaraderie began to blossom among them. The words flowed like rivers, opening pathways to deeper understanding and vulnerability. The conversation drifted from Clara's aspirations to the burdens of expectation borne by each woman. Agnes shared her own journey, her early years filled with unreciprocated love, the sacrifices made for family, and the quiet strength she had forged. "Every decision I made was a thread in the tapestry of our lives," she whispered, her voice soft yet powerful. By the end of the gathering, the room was charged with newfound energy. Scones and tea were savored as laughter mingled with tears, a beautiful fusion of joy, fear, and hope. Elara observed as connections deepened, hearts opened, and laughter echoed through the walls of her grandmother's cottage. She felt a sense of belonging wash over her like a warm embrace. The women weren't simply sharing their stories, they were forging a collective narrative, a legacy that would empower the generations to come. As the final moments of the gathering unfolded, Clara spoke up, her voice strong and confident. "Let's promise to support one another, to be open to whatever transformations come our way." The group nodded, their agreement resonating like a soft melody in the air. Elara felt a surge of gratitude as she looked around at the women she cherished. Together, they had created a powerful space for exploration and connection. The whispers of change that had initially swirled in the air were transforming into a clarion call for courage. With the sun dipping lower, casting a golden glow over the village, Elara realized that they stood on the precipice of something magnificent. A journey filled with wisdom, support, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. A rebel's heart. The sun ascended over the village, bringing forth streams of light that shimmered through the windows of Lane's art studio. A former mill, its rustic charm now embraced by vibrant colors and chaotic canvases, the place served as a sanctuary for B, a haven where creative dreams took flight. B stood before a large canvas, her paintbrush swirling hues of turquoise and magenta as she lost herself in her work. Each stroke was an expression, a catharsis, and today, the art flowed through her like the very wind that whispered through the open windows. It was vibrant, defiant, and alive, reflecting the turmoil in her heart. With the recent discussions about change hanging heavy in the air, excitement mingled with trepidation as Bee contemplated her own life choices. Could she embrace her passions without fear? As a young unwed mother, the judgments of her village often weighed upon her shoulders, like a cloak made of doubt and expectation. But today, she wanted to break free. After hours of lost time in her vibrant world, the door creaked open. Clara Moss bounced in, her fiery curls mirroring her spirited enthusiasm. "Bee, what are you working on?" Bee turned, a grin spreading across her face. "It's a mural inspired by our gathering. I want it to embody the essence of the village's women, their struggles, hopes, and dreams." Clara's eyes sparkled, a light reflecting the passion that the young artist infused into her work. "It sounds beautiful. I'd love to help. We all need to contribute to this." As they began to mix paint and brainstorm ideas, Clara's infectious energy ignited Bee's own. They quickly fell into a rhythm, laughing and sharing their visions for the mural. "What if we include symbols of courage? Maybe a lion or a phoenix?" Clara suggested, hands animated as she spoke. "Or wings," Bee countered. "Wings representing freedom, the desire to soar beyond the confines of expectations." Their laughter wrapped around them like a protective cocoon, illuminating the studio with warmth. While they painted, Bee felt the weights of judgment and societal constraints begin to lift. "Your mural could inspire the village," Clara commented, her confidence burgeoning. "It shows women are free to be whoever they want to be." As the day wore on, Clara left for a moment, and Bee stood alone before her canvas, her heart beating in sync with the emotions coursing through her. Then she picked up her brush, pouring the depths of her soul into each stroke. Suddenly, she wasn't just painting to express herself, she was rebelling against the constraints that had for too long kept her confined. The next morning, Bee announced her plan to gather the village women for a collaborative effort on the mural. The excitement buzzed in the air as she crafted invitations over tea, envisioning the mural blossoming into a collective affirmation of identity, strength, and unity. On the day of the event, the sun brightened the canvas of the sky, and the villagers gathered at the aging mill, filling it with laughter and chatter. Women of all ages, from the elderly council of matriarchs to the eager young girls, stood under the beams of sunlight, ready to contribute their voices to the mural. With Clara by her side, Bee guided them through a series of exercises to unleash their creativity. "Let's paint our dreams," she encouraged, her eyes shimmering with enthusiasm. "You can use colors and shapes that speak to you. Let your heart guide your hand." As colors splashed across the canvas, the walls of the mill became a vibrant tapestry reflecting their collective spirit and individuality. Each stroke was infused with stories, laughter mingling with tears. Some shared what it meant to be a mother, while others spoke of heartache and empowerment. One woman painted pride, another expressed sorrow, and yet another depicted hope. Then, amidst the colorful chaos, Bee noticed Agnes Harper among the crowd. The elder was diligently mixing colors, her wise hands slowly creating delicate blossoms on the canvas. Bee hesitated, but something within her stirred, a need to connect deeper with the woman who had offered her warmth and support. "Agnes," Bee called softly, approaching her. "Would you share your story for the mural?" Agnes paused, her eyes warm as they met Be's. "Stories are like paint, my dear. They don't always have to be pretty, but they're essential to create a masterpiece." Feeling encouraged, Bee handed Agnes a brush. "Let's paint together then. Share your heart, and we'll immortalize it on this wall." With gentle strokes, Agnes began adding flowers to their mural, each blossom a testament to the lives she had touched. "I've loved fiercely, lost profoundly, and yet through it all, I found strength in sharing my journey," she explained, her voice steady and inspiring. Bee listened, captivated by Agnes's wisdom, the notion of resilience in vulnerability resonating deeply within her. She felt her belief in the power of storytelling solidify, realizing it wasn't simply about crafting art to rebel against tradition, it was about celebrating every heart in the village. As they painted, the mural came alive with dreams taking shape, transforming the walls of the mill into a canvas of hope and unity. The vibrant colors soon conveyed not just individual stories but a collective heartbeat of solidarity. By the end of the day, Bee stepped back to survey the mural, a breathtaking portrayal of their shared journey, a celebration of their strength and individuality, forever etched in the village's fabric. In that moment, she made a silent vow to herself and her community, to always embrace her rebel heart, to never silence her voice again, and to champion the stories of every woman who dared to dream. Roots and wings. The village stirred awake under a dual blanket of dawn light and early mist, and Amara Winslow felt both exhilarated and anxious about the events of the previous day. The mural's vibrancy tugged at her thoughts, reminding her of the raw potency of shared stories and how deeply they connected the women of their village. Today, she needed to confront something within herself. Her roots had anchored her to this place, but conflicting dreams whispered for wings to take flight. She found herself at the base of the old oak tree in the central square, a place that had witnessed the laughter and sorrow of generations. Leaning against its sturdy bark, she closed her eyes, drawing strength from its enduring presence. In that moment of reflection, Samuel Wright approached, his broad frame casting a long shadow across the ground. He offered Amara a friendly nod, pausing nearby. "You look deep in thought," he remarked, his voice steady, yet inviting. She opened her eyes and smiled, momentarily grateful for his company. "I was just thinking about the mural, how far we've come as a community." "Bee has quite the gift," Samuel replied, looking over at the colorful canvas now adorned with layers of meaning. "It speaks volumes about the strength of the women here." Amara agreed, but as silence enveloped them, her mind roamed back to her past choices. "Samuel, have you ever felt torn between where you come from and where you wish to go?" His brow furrowed slightly, and he took a seat on a nearby bench. "Absolutely. The struggle between tradition and personal desires is difficult. But I learned something important. A strong foundation makes it easier to build dreams." The sincerity in his voice ignited a memory in Amara of her grandmother's cottage, the stories wrapped in the walls, grounding her identity but limiting her flight. "Sometimes I feel like I'm meant for more than what this village offers," she confided. "But I also feel this strong pull to stay and honor my roots." Samuel nodded thoughtfully. "Your roots don't have to bind you. They can support you while you grow. Look at the old oak. It's deeply rooted but stretches its branches wide. It embraces the sky while feeding the earths." Amara took in his analogy, appreciating the wisdom in his words. "You're right. Perhaps I can carry both my heritage and my aspirations." The day unfolded, filled with tasks in the garden, yet Amara's thoughts lingered on the idea of merging her roots and wings. Later that afternoon, as she finished her chores, an unexpected visit from Clara brought a spark back to her spirit. "Hey, Amara. You have to see what Bee created. It's stunning." Clara burst in, her voice a melody of excitement. "The mural has become a point of pride. It's almost like a beacon for our village." Amara's heart fluttered at the thought, and she quickly agreed to follow Clara to the mill. As they approached, Amara felt a rush of anticipation, eager to witness the collective heartbeat captured brilliantly on the canvas. When they entered, the colors were dazzling, hues of blue, pink, and gold mingling under the afternoon light, showcasing women of all shapes and sizes embracing their dreams with open arms. Heart fluttering in admiration, Amara gasped as she caught a glimpse of her own contributions captured within the larger narrative, roots anchored in the earth, spiraling into wings that lifted skyward. Bee stood proud at the forefront, paint splattered across her apron, the delight in her eyes reflecting the admiration of her companions. "Isn't it something? We made this together," she exclaimed, as Clara rushed to join her side. Amara grinned, feeling a sense of belonging swell within her chest. Each woman had contributed a facet of herself, a heart, a story, an aspiration, and collectively, they formed a beautiful prodigy. "Bee, your vision brought us together, and I can feel the energy here," Amara said, her voice sincere. "It's more than just a mural. It's a celebration of who we are and who we can become." As voices encircled her, Bee raised her paintbrush like a scepter, captivating the audience. "Today, let's plant seeds of courage. I want all of you to paint your dreams," she declared passionately. With that encouragement, women excitedly picked up brushes and dipped them into an array of colors. Elara's heart raced with determination. It was her turn to contribute. She picked up a brush and ventured to the canvas, feeling the impulse to embody her new resolve. As she began painting, visions filled her mind, the oak tree's roots extending into nutrient-rich soil, spiraling upward into radiant wings, bursting into sunlight. With every stroke, she intertwined both aspects of her identity, merging her heritage with her aspirations. Elara could feel the energy of her fellow women invigorating her with courage. Each vibrant stroke transformed into a promise to honor her roots while embracing her wings. Courage surged within her, and she realized that she held the power to redefine her story. As twilight cast a warm glow over the village, laughter erupted in the mill, a symphony of unison and celebration, a testament to a collective spirit awakening. Standing side by side with folk she loved, Elara looked around at the transformation taking place. Freedom mingled with tradition, roots intertwined with aspirations, and she felt firmly anchored in a community more vibrant than ever. That night, as she lay in bed, her heart soared with gratitude. She understood that home was not merely a location marked by boundaries, but a tapestry woven through the stories of those she loved. With her roots grounding her, she was ready to spread her wings wide, ready to embrace all that awaited her in the horizon. The flowering meadow. The first blush of dawn painted the sky in shades of amber and rose, and Clara Moss awoke with a singular purpose in her heart. Today, she intended to venture into the flowering meadow, a place where wildflowers bloomed in splendid chaos, vibrant colors dancing freely in the gentle breeze. It was not just a beautiful escape, it was a sanctuary where she felt her spirit awakened and her fears dissipated. After dressing quickly, Clara stepped outside, the dewy grass cool beneath her bare feet. She breathed in the fragrant air, invigorated by the beckoning rhythm of nature. The meadow lay at the edge of the village, a hidden paradise she had come to know intimately, filled with an abundance of wildflowers that mirrored her deepest wishes and dreams. Clara dashed forward, her heart racing as she approached the carpet of blossoms. Each flower lifted its head towards the sky, greeting her like old friends. She soon found a familiar spot beneath a sprawling cherry blossom tree, the vibrant pink petals fluttering in delicate whispers as they echoed the excitement she felt inside. Dipping into her satchel, Clara retrieved a notebook she had kept since childhood. Today, she planned to pen down her thoughts, to weave together her dreams amidst the symphony of buzzing bees and chirping birds. With the meadow's beauty surrounding her, Clara felt ready to explore her aspirations freely. As she settled down, scratching the surface of her mind, she started with a simple question: what do I truly want? Immediately, a rush of desires cascaded through her thoughts. Adventure, independence, love, and the courage to rise beyond tradition echoed like a song in her heart. The gentle rustle of grass alerted Clara she wasn't alone. Looking up, she spotted Elara, her bright green eyes sparkling as they approached. "Clara," she called out in delight, a warm smile adorning her face. "I was hoping to find you here." Relief washed over Clara, grateful for the comfort of a friend who understood her unvoiced longings. "Oh, Elara, I've missed this place. It's my escape from everything." Clara gestured around, at the vast landscape blooming with energy. "What brings you here?" "After our painting day, I needed some fresh air and inspiration," Elara replied, taking a seat beside Clara among the wildflowers. "I find peace here, like the meadow resembles my dreams' unfurlings." Clara nodded, feeling a kindred spirit emerge as they shared their thoughts in the gentle tranquility. "I've been thinking about everything we talked about before, roots and wings. I want so much for my life, but I feel scared of letting go of expectations too." Elara placed a reassuring hand on Clara's shoulder. "It's completely natural. Embracing change means confronting our fears head-on. But know this, we can only grow if we nurture both our roots and our wings." As their conversation deepened, Clara felt her heart flutter with hope. She pulled out her notebook, flipping to a blank page. "Let's create a list. What do we want most in life?" In passionate bursts, the women exchanged thoughts, words tumbling out like precious gems. The meadow began to echo their laughter, mixed with aspirations listed on the paper: travel far and wide, write stories that inspire, fall in love deeply, and embrace every adventure. Flying hot air balloons seems like a beautiful adventure, Clara mused, doodling a balloon as she spoke. Elara chuckled, adding her own whimsical ideas. I want to dance under the stars, maybe even atop the cliffs overlooking the sea. The thought of feeling free sends shivers down my spines. As Clara recorded their dreams, the excitement surrounding them intensified. The sun climbed higher, illuminating their aspirations and casting gentle warmth over the meadow. Clara felt a connection with her friend deepen, rooted in shared dreams and common fears. In that moment, inspiration surged within her. Let's have an adventure today, Clara exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Let's do something spontaneous to capture this moment, something that symbolizes our dreams. Elara's expression brightened. Ah, Clara, I love that idea. Let's gather wildflowers, create flower crowns, and take a picture together here in the meadow. It'll remind us of this day, our promises, and our hopes. With laughter blossoming around them, they scoured the meadow, collecting an array of colors from daisies to buttercups and sturdy dandelions. They wove strands of flowers together with laughter thrumming like music in the air, sharing snippets of their lives as they worked. With the crowns atop their heads, Clara plopped down in the embrace of flowers, inviting Elara to join. Let's take our picture, she said, her heart racing in joy. Elara nodded eagerly, gathering the camera she had brought along. Say dreams, she said, her laughter echoing as she snapped the photo, capturing an untamed moment of joy and unity. As they viewed the picture, Clara realized it represented more than their dreams. It captured a shared commitment to support one another as they navigated the complexities of life. Let's promise to chase our visions together, Clara suggested, her voice brimming with hope. To lift each other when the uncertainty feels too heavy and remind one another that our wings can lift us. Elara beamed. I promise. No one should face their dreams alone. We can be the wind beneath each other's wings as we soar. The two friends embraced, surrounded by a sea of flowers. In the flowering meadow, Clara discovered the strength found in shared dreams, the roots of friendship intertwined with the wings of aspiration. Together, they were ready to face whatever the world had in store, buoyed by love and courage to pursue their path. As the sun set, casting an amber glow over the meadow, Clara's heart swelled with gratitude. She knew that change was coming, but with Elara by her side and dreams in her pocket, she felt ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. Layers of the past. The sun hung high in the sky, casting soft rays that filtered through the leaves of the old oak tree. Elara Winslow sat beneath its branches, a welcomed refuge from the warmth of the day. She cradled a cup of chamomile tea, her thoughts swirling like the steam rising from the porcelain. It was a mug she cherished, passed down through generations, each wear and crack telling a story of love and resilience. Today she felt pulled to revisit the depths of her past. Recent conversations with her friends had stirred memories like leaves caught in an autumn gust. She recalled Agnes Harper's words from their gathering, stories are like layers of earth, each one building on the next. Stealing her mind away from light-hearted chatter and laughter, Elara drifted deeper. She remembered the fragments of her childhood, the weight of hesitation she felt when she returned to the village after years of city life. It was time to peel back those layers, to uncover the roots of her unease. Just as she settled into this contemplative space, Clara approached, her curls bouncing with youthful exuberance. What are you thinking about? You look deep in thought, she chirped, plopping down beside Elara with a grin. Elara smiled softly. Just reflecting on my past, I suppose. Sometimes, I feel like I've buried parts of myself while I sought the life I thought I wanted. Clara tilted her head, her curiosity piqued. What do you mean? You've always seemed so brave to me. Elara scratched the back of her head, contemplating how to articulate her feelings. I used to dream of traveling, of experiencing new places. But I feared I would lose my connections here. I wouldn't want to abandon the people I love. The unease radiating from her words threaded with the tension of vulnerability. Clara reached for Elara's hand and squeezed it reassuringly. You have us here. We always want you to soar. Taking a deep breath, Elara turned her gaze to the old oak. Do you think our pasts shape who we are? She asked, intrigued by her own query. Of course. Our stories define our journeys, Clara replied eagerly. We all have layers that build who we are. We shouldn't shy away from them, embrace them instead. Encouraged by Clara's words, Elara decided to share the unvarnished truth of her roots, where the jagged edges of her past still lingered. She began, her voice a wavering whisper, as though speaking out loud might lift the weight on her heart. I've always been afraid of being seen as a disappointment. There were times, especially during my teenage years, when I felt invisible in the world's expectations. My parents, they had grand dreams for me. They envisioned success, but the more they pushed, the more I ached to break free. Clara listened intently, the sunlight casting dappled shadows across their expressions. And when they realized you weren't following their script? Elara winced, the memory of her mother's disappointed gaze surfacing. It broke my heart to have to disappoint them. I felt as though their dreams were tethered to my choices. I didn't want to be just another thread in their tapestry. I wanted to carve my own path. That's why I left. Taking a moment to compose herself, Elara continued. I thought the city would offer me freedom, individuality. Instead, I soon realized that I carried my past with me. Every achievement felt clouded by the pressure to perform. Silence wrapped around them, and as the weight of unspoken stories settled, Clara spoke quietly. But you returned. You chose to come back and face your roots. That takes courage, Elara. Elara nodded slowly. Being back here has reminded me of who I was before I let their expectations define me. I've discovered that my roots aren't a burden. They've anchored me to this community. It's a safety net I can lean on while I explore beyond our village. With newfound determination, she resolved to embrace her past. As the earth supports the roots of a tree, she felt her resolve strengthen as the memories of mustering courage rushed through her once again. Let's explore together, Clara suggested suddenly, her eyes sparkling. How about we revisit the places of our childhood? Maybe we can reconnect with those layers that shaped us. Elara's spirit soared at Clara's enthusiasm. That sounds incredible. I'd love nothing more than to discover the echoes of our youth. We can unearth our stories. Eager to embrace the adventure, the two friends spent the afternoon roaming the village. Their laughter echoed through the streets as they wandered past familiar locations filled with memories, each corner offering tales just waiting to resurface. They found themselves at the playground where they had spent endless summer days, swinging high into the sky, the world unfolding below them. This place feels like a portal to simpler times, Elara mused, her heart warming at the sight. Remember that time we tried to build a fort out of sticks? Clara mused, laughter bubbling forth. Elara laughed, the memory brightened by the shared experience, the innocence and carefree spirit of those days flooding back. As they moved on, Clara took Elara to the village bookstore, a hidden gem that held treasures of stories they had once voraciously devoured. Running her fingers across the spines of various novels, Clara sighed with genuine nostalgia. It's like every book has a piece of our hearts. Elara chewed on that thought as she wandered through the aisles. They eventually settled in a quiet nook, a cozy corner filled with sunlight, where she picked a worn-out book. Together, they flipped through its pages. Each word reminded them of their youthful dreams and boundless potential. By the time the sun dipped low, the two friends returned to the oak tree, hearts lighter and spirits enriched. The layers of their past had been welcomed and honored, much like the roots of the tree reaching deep into the earth. Thank you for today, Clara, Elara said, a soft smile lighting up her face. Your encouragement means the world to me. Think of it as an unmasking of sorts. Every layer adds to us, Clara replied with warmth. Let's keep peeling back the layers together. As dusk settled, bathing the village in warm hues of gold, Elara realized that it was okay to carry fragments of her past while reaching for the future. She felt renewed, ready to embrace her journey, supported by Clara and the roots of those who had loved her fiercely. The art of choice. The village hummed with anticipation as the sun painted a brilliant tapestry across the sky, signaling yet another day of potential. Elara Winslow stood in front of her grandmother's cottage, admiring the newly painted mural that dominated the village mill. It had become a symbol of the community's shared spirit and dreams, a testament to the power of unity and friendship. Each stroke of color echoed experiences they had collectively embraced. Yet, as she took in the vibrant artwork bathed in morning light, Amara felt the weight of her own choices pressing on her heart. The mural's beauty reminded her that life was a canvas, and she had the brush in her hand. But how could she choose the right strokes when her heart pulled in so many directions? With curiosity bubbling inside her, she decided to visit B. Lane's art studio. The space had a magical quality, adorned with colorful canvases and the scent of paint lingering in the cool air. Clara had joined her, her enthusiasm infectious as they walked through the door, greeted by the artistic chaos that B reveled in. "Welcome to the realm of creativity," B exclaimed, her paint-splattered apron framing her exuberance. "I was just about to begin a new piece. Can we join you?" Amara asked, her eyes gleaming. "Absolutely. I could use the company," B replied, gesturing to the array of canvas and paint laid out before them. As they settled into their creative spaces, Amara unfurled her thoughts, detailing her mixed feelings about the choices ahead. "I feel torn between pursuing my dreams and staying grounded here. I wonder if I can do both." B rolled her eyes teasingly. "Amara, we're all artists of our own lives. The beauty lies in the choices we make. Don't fear the shades of gray, they can create depth." Clara chimed in, "And there's not only one way to paint your life. Explore the canvas, find your voice and make it resonate." Inspired by the encouragement, Amara picked up a brush, dipping it into bold hues, letting her instincts guide her strokes. With each stroke, she felt the heaviness lifting. The canvas transformed into a metaphor for her life, chaotic yet promising. "Remember," B said, a mischievous grin spreading across her face, "the art of choice is about experimentation. If you don't like a stroke, paint over it. Life's like that, you can always start anew." Amara's heart quickened, ignited by the freedom of possibility. She envisioned herself making choices with intention, each decision not setting her on a fixed path but offering new opportunities to explore. What if, instead of fearing failure, she embraced it as part of the process? As the trio painted, laughter and anecdotes wove through the air like colors blending on their canvases. Hours slipped quickly, and the piece they worked on captured the dynamic blend of their personalities. Clara's sunny disposition added warmth, while Ba's bold strokes infused vibrancy. Later that afternoon, B stepped back and admired their creation. "Look at the life we've infused into this canvas. It's like a tapestry of our journeys." Amara squinted, appreciating the essence of their choices reflected in the colors. It dawned on her that each hue brought them closer to understanding their paths. They weren't alone in this, they were allies, artists in a community ready to embrace every new stroke together. As the sun sank lower on the horizon, painting the studio in a warm glow, Amara proposed an idea. "What if we open this space to the village for a day? Let others explore the art of their choices, unveil their creativity." Clara's face lit up. "That would be incredible. An art day where everyone can experiment and share their stories through their creations." Ba's eyes sparkled. "Count me in. Let's call it the Art of Choice, an event celebrating the beauty of our unique journeys." Giddily brainstorming ideas, the two friends quickly crafted plans, imagining how the community would come together to express the colors of their lives. Amara felt excitement bubbling within her. Perhaps this was the choice she needed to explore her roots while encouraging others. Over the next few days, anticipation permeated the village as the event drew near. The walls of the studio were transformed into a vibrant gallery, showcasing offerings from the villagers. Colorful fabrics floated in the air as music played, with laughter blending harmoniously into the atmosphere. The day arrived, and villagers streamed into Ba's studio, their expectations shimmering like the paint set out for them. Amara felt her own nerves tangle with exhilaration. They had woven an opportunity for everyone to express their artistry. As the event unfolded, women of all ages grabbed brushes and painted with abandon, sharing stories that wove together experiences from their past, present, and hopes for their future. An elderly woman with silver hair shared tales of her youth, while young girls scribbled vibrant dreams onto their canvases. Amara moved through the crowd, reveling in the atmosphere of joy and creativity. In one corner, Agnes Harper painted a delicate scene of wildflowers, her hands steady but her heart full of emotion, a reflection of her own journey. "Every stroke is a memory, dear," Agnes said softly to Alara, her voice filled with meaning. "Each color signifies our experiences, weaving us together." Later, Alara found herself outside talking with Samuel Wright, who was captured by the vibrant festivities. "You've sparked something special here," he remarked, his eyes shining as they swept over the gathering. "These choices, these voices, they're vital for a community's heartbeats." Encouraged by his words, Alara realized the significance of their collective artistic expression. It was more than just paint on canvas, it was a testament to their hopes and dreams. It connected roots to wings, allowing individuals to express what had once been hidden within. As dusk fell, and the sun cast its final golden rays across the village, Alara found herself standing in front of the mural. The colors glowed, harmonizing with the cries of laughter and joy echoing from the studio. She appreciated the intricate web woven between roots and choices, both essential to her identity. The journey ahead was still uncertain, but she felt empowered by the understanding that choices were neither right nor wrong. They were simply expressions of her ever-evolving self. Embracing the art of choice would allow her to navigate her life in all its beautiful complexities. In that moment, she vowed to herself, she would continue to paint her story, brush by brush, choice by choice, guided by love, creativity, and the connections forged within her community. Bridging generations. The morning sun spilled softly over the village, casting a warm glow that painted the streets in vivid hues of orange and gold. Alara Winslow stepped outside, an aura of anticipation swirling around her. The vibrancy of the recent art event still lingered in the air, infusing the community with a collective sense of purpose and connection. Today, she planned a special gathering, a moment to bridge the generations, uniting the wisdom of the village's elders with the dreams of the youth. Growth and change were essential, but so was the heritage from which they all stemmed. Alara arrived at her grandmother's cottage, readying for the day ahead. The scent of freshly baked pastries wafted through the air, mingling with the aroma of brewed tea. She stepped inside, her heart warm with memories of the times spent in this very kitchen, listening to stories filled with laughter and insight. "Good morning, dear." Agnes Harper greeted her with a smile, her silver hair elegantly twisted atop her head. "What a lovely day for bringing everyone together." "Good morning, Grandma," Alara replied, excitement bubbling in her chest. "I can't wait to see the young women and the elders connect. I believe our stories deserve to weave together." "Absolutely," Agnes affirmed, her voice rich with wisdom. "Each generation holds invaluable lessons for the next. We must cherish these threads." As the sun climbed higher, the village square began to gather life. Alara noticed women of various ages mingling, some from her childhood, and others she'd only just met. Clara soon joined, her curls bouncing as she approached. "Are you ready for our special day?" Clara asked, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. Alara grinned, glancing over at the colorful decorations hung around the square. "I think so. Everyone seems excited to share." With invigorated spirits, they welcomed the younger generation. Soon the elder women arrived, some frail yet steadfast, others spunky and sharp-tongued. Alara admired each one, recognizing that behind their weathered faces were histories laden with resilience. As the gathering officially commenced, Alara stepped forward to capture everyone's attention. "Thank you all for coming," she announced, her heart dancing to the rhythm of her words. "Today is a celebration of connection between generations. Let's share our stories, our experiences. We can learn so much from each other." An elder, Mrs. Lacey, a wise woman known for her storytelling prowess, stood up. "What a wonderful idea! Each story, like a flower, can share its scent, add their beauty to this garden we call lives." The gathering erupted in laughter, breaking the ice as Alara invited everyone to sit in a circle under the shade of the oak tree, its branches a protective canopy overhead. "I'll start," Clara volunteered, eager to share. "When I think about my dreams, I remember my grandmother's stories of courage. I want to be brave like her." Mrs. Lacey beamed, her eyes shimmering with pride. "Courage comes in many forms, dear. It isn't always about grand gestures, sometimes it's a quiet determination to pursue what you love." Elara watched as each story unfolded, passions interlacing with struggles and victories. Young girls spoke of their aspirations while the older women shared hard-earned lessons and experiences. The exchange bridged the gap, fostering an understanding that transcended age. Amidst the stories, a serious tone settled over the circle when a shy girl named Emma bravely spoke up. "I want to pursue art, but everyone says it's not practical. I think I'll fail." Agnes leaned in, her voice calming. "Let me share a secret with you, Emma. The world values practicality, but passion fuels us. I had many doubts when pursuing my dreams, yet it was art that connected me to my family's legacy. Pursue what makes your heart sings." Emma's expression shifted from fear to inspiration, her eyes sparkling with a newfound determination. Elara felt a surge of excitement. This was precisely the connection they hoped to cultivate, a reinforcement of passion through shared wisdom. More stories flowed freely, depicting challenges faced and triumphs celebrated, the loss of loved ones, births of children, the decision to follow their hearts. As each tale unfurled, vibrant threads wove together the fabric of their shared existence. A young woman named Bella spoke fervently about her struggles to find her identity in a changing world. "Sometimes I feel lost between who I am and who I am supposed to be," she confessed, the vulnerability emanating from her words. Mrs. Lacey nodded empathetically. "Ah dear, that feeling is part of every generation. Embrace your uniqueness. Your identity blooms like a flower, each petal representing a facet of who you are." Each word sparked connections between the ages, the elder women's laughter melding harmoniously with the youth's hopes. Sensing the vibrant energy surging, Elara encouraged them to engage in small groups where ideas could intermingle through discussion, allowing stories to grow. As laughter echoed and conversations flourished, Elara stood back to observe. This gathering had become a bridge, a channel for shared histories and collective dreams. Here, under the shade of the oak, every voice was valued. Later in the day, Elara approached Clara, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for organizing this together. It's been breathtaking to witness. I loved every minute." "This connection is vital for our growth," Clara replied, her enthusiasm infectious. "We can inspire each other." The afternoon slipped into evening, the sun dipping low. Women held hands, a circle formed, and the elder women led everyone in a dance that twirled with laughter and song, embracing the joyous energy that had blossomed. As the gathering concluded, Elara felt a profound sense of belonging. They had forged bonds that would carry forward, bridging gaps between generations while honoring the stories carried within each person. Later that evening, under a brilliant tapestry of stars, she understood that the essence of their lives interlinked, and within each layer of communication lay the richness of shared existence. Rooted in their experiences, they all soared toward the dreams that awaited them. Elara smiled softly, looking ahead to a future filled with stories waiting to be written. With a heart buoyed by connection, passion, and newfound courage, she felt ready to weave her next chapter with purpose. Embracing identity. The once vibrant village blossomed with the whispers of autumn, leaves embellishing the landscape in oranges, reds, and browns. Elara Winslow stood at the threshold of her grandmother's cottage, feeling the crisp air wrap around her like a comforting embrace. Today felt different. A wave of excitement washed over her, excitement fueled by the past few weeks of meaningful connections and personal growth. As Elara stepped inside, she was greeted by Agnes Harper's warm smile, the familiar glow weaving through the cozy kitchen atmosphere. The scent of spiced apple cider danced in the air, blanketing the home with comfort. Elara was home. "Grandma, the gathering felt like a beginning," Elara said, filling her grandmother's earthenware mug while her heart fluttered. Agnes smiled knowingly. "Conversations have a way of unearthing things, don't they? Our identities can feel like a patchwork quilt, stitched together from our experiences, dreams, and connections." The words resonated deep within Elara. It was time to explore the complexities of her identity, the threads woven in from her past, her dreams, and the family legacy that shaped who she had become. "Let's invite the women back for another gathering," Elara suggested, her excitement surging. "This time, I want to dig into the theme of identity. I think we need a space to openly explore who we are and how our past shapes us." A twinkle sparkled in Agnes's eyes. An excellent idea, dear. But a theme of identity can be quite personal. It may require vulnerability. That night, Elara conceptualized the gathering, motivated to pave the way for shared experiences that would encourage everyone to explore their identities. She decided to create an inclusive atmosphere without judgment, a place where they could share their journeys and the intricacies of their lives. Days passed and the gathering unfolded. Villagers trickled into the cottage, bringing laughter, excitement, and an air of camaraderie. After settling into a circle, Elara introduced the theme. Tonight, we embrace our identities. Let's share what makes us unique and the influences that have shaped who we are. B. Lane was the first to speak, her vibrant spirit lighting up the room. For a long time, I felt that I had to fit a mold, be the reliable version of myself. But through art, I discovered strength in my individuality. Each piece I create carries whispers of my heart, making me more me. The group erupted into applause. Clara followed, her voice rising with enthusiasm. I've always felt compelled to chase the sun, to break free from what society expected. I've come to learn that my wild heart isn't a flaw, it's my identity shining through. Eager to continue, Emma, the shy girl who left an impression at the last gathering, shared her journey. I struggled with self-acceptance. It wasn't until I started painting that I felt free. I chose to express myself on canvas instead of hiding behind others' opinions. Art taught me, my voice matters. In that moment, Elara realized how interwoven their experiences were. The nuances of their identities blossomed in the warm light of shared stories, creating a sanctuary of understanding. After letting the stories flow freely, Elara encouraged everyone to engage with one another, sparking discussions and connections that would delve deeper into their identities. Agnes observed the conversations, proud of the vibrant exchange unfolding before her. Elara's heart glowed at the realization that every tale shared was a glimpse of someone stepping into their truth. She had created a safe haven where they could freely explore the layers of their individual stories. In a quieter moment, one of the older women, Mrs. Lacey, spoke up. You young ones are braver than we were, unafraid to unveil your hearts. But remember, embracing your identity doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. Elara nodded, feeling empathy and connection with Mrs. Lacey. True identity isn't just who we want to be, it's also about who we've been and how we've grown. I want to embrace my roots and dreams. Her voice trailed off, contemplative and sincere. Agnes chimed in. Growth comes with embracing both sides of your identity. Don't be afraid to dance with that complexity. The conversation shifted when a quiet girl named Lily spoke up. I've always felt invisible. Like I don't belong. Sometimes, I think everyone else has it figured out, and I'm lost. I want to find my voice. Elara's heart ached to hear her feelings. You're not alone, Lily. Every one of us has experienced that feeling, of not knowing where we fit. But the act of seeking answers is what connects us, and your story is just as important as anyone else's. With encouragement, Elara invited Lily to join the conversation again. The young girl hesitated but eventually began to open up as others echoed her thoughts. As laughter and stories danced around the room, the atmosphere transformed. Each woman's identity threaded together, creating a beautiful tapestry of experiences, struggles, and victories. Elara felt the weight in her heart lift with every shared story. The more they unveiled their layers, the more she understood that their identities were fluid, forged by past experiences but also shaped by dreams. In a spontaneous moment of creativity, Clara suggested they create a collaborative artwork that showcased elements of each woman's identity, colors, patterns, symbols, reminding them to celebrate what made them uniquely beautiful. The gathering transitioned into a creative frenzy as everyone let their inner artist spring forth, combining their reflections into a patchwork of vibrant color as they transformed a large canvas. As the evening drew to a close, Elara stood back, her heart swelling with pride. The painting reflected the very essence of every woman present, echoing their voices and experiences intertwined like a harmonious symphony. The piece would serve as a reminder, not only of their shared journey but also of their commitment to embracing and celebrating each other's identities. Elara glanced around the room, her heart shimmering with gratitude. They had taken significant steps toward understanding their unique identities while recognizing the power of letting go, revealing their true selves. That night, as Amara lay in bed, she marveled at the gathering, the stories, connections, and dreams forged into something powerful. Each identity woven together illuminated a pathway toward acceptance and self-love, and she knew this was just the beginning. She was ready to embrace every facet of her being, ready for the beautiful journey ahead, rooted in her past while expanding into the boundless horizons of her future. A tapestry of voices. The village square had blossomed into a vibrant hub of energy as the sun cast a golden light across the gathered crowd. Amara Winslow stood at the center, enveloped by her eclectic assembly of women, each bringing with them their stories, their hopes, and their artistry. The upcoming event, aptly named A Tapestry of Voices, was born from their earlier discussions about identity and the bridges formed between generations. Amara took a moment to soak in the atmosphere, her heart thrumming with anticipation. The collaborative artwork they had created at the last gathering, a colorful canvas illustrating their unique identities, stood proudly in the corner, a visual testament to their collective spirit. As members of the community began to arrive, laughter and cheerful conversations filled the air, the sound of unity echoing harmoniously. Amara felt the warmth of friendship envelop her as Clara approached with an armful of colorful fabric. "Are you ready for this?" Clara asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "This is going to be amazing." "I hope so," Amara replied, her voice brimming with nervous energy. Everyone's stories deserve to be heard. Taking charge, Clara began to introduce the event. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we come together to celebrate our voices, our experiences, our dreams, and our connections. We are here to create a living tapestry that reflects who we are as individuals and as a community." Amara admired Clara's enthusiasm as they gathered in a circle, inviting participants to express themselves through whatever medium resonated with them, through art, spoken word, or song. It was an open invitation for exploration without judgment. One by one, the women stepped forward, sharing their stories. Emma, emboldened by the recent encouragement she received, took the mic first. "Art has always been my escape," she began, her voice steady. "Do you remember that night when we all painted together? It was the first time I felt my feelings validated. Each brushstroke represented not just color, but my stories." A ripple of applause erupted, igniting a wave of courage in the room. Next, Mrs. Lacey took the space, her presence commanding yet gentle. "Life has a funny way of teaching us, doesn't it? As a mother, grandmother, and friend, I've seen the strength in vulnerability. You're all stitching together a bright future. Remember, your voices mattered." The energy swirled around them, and as the sun continued to rise higher, women shared their tales of love, heartbreak, and personal growth. Each story intertwined, creating an intricate tapestry of experience, embroidery colored with humor and wisdom. The afternoon unfolded in a delightful mix of art-making and storytelling. Clara had set up several stations throughout the square, each representing a different aspect of life: hope, resilience, love, and community. Together, they crafted symbols signifying their identities: a heart here, a flower there, representing dreams and loved ones. B. Lane emerged with a vibrant banner adorned with bold colors and patterns. "This is just the beginning," she exclaimed. "As we share our voices, let's add to the tapestry together." Men, women, and children began to join in, adding their contributions, and the collective art piece grew even more dynamic. Laughter erupted as Clara encouraged everyone to express their emotions, urging them to channel their inner artists. A moment of excitement rippled through the crowd when a group of young girls took a turn to perform a dance they had choreographed. As they swayed in unison, their laughter danced alongside them, captivating the audience. Amara felt tears prick her eyes. It was a celebration of vulnerabilities, of dreams, of the very essence of their identities. The tapestry they were weaving together transcended generations, creating bonds that united every person present. After the dance concluded, the women called for a spoken word segment, allowing individuals to share poetry, beautiful verses reflecting love, hardship, and the journey of self-discovery. Every line resonated, echoing the heartbeats of their collective experiences. As the afternoon progressed, a quiet silence enveloped the square, interrupted only by the gentle rustle of fabric. Lily, the quiet girl who had shared her struggles at the recent gathering, stepped forward. The spotlight felt daunting, but her expression revealed a deep courage within. "I always thought my voice didn't matter," she began, taking a deep breath. "But today, as I see all of you sharing, I know that every word counts, and I want mine to count too. So here's a poem I wrote." She recited her piece, each word flowing like a river, packed with emotion. As her voice wove through the crowd, tears glistened in the eyes of many, including Amara. In that moment, every person in attendance felt a deep understanding, each voice adding to the beautiful tapestry they had collectively created. When Lily finished, an uproar of applause erupted, engulfing her in love and support. In that moment, she realized that she did matter. She had woven her part into the larger story, merging her experience with those around her. As the day drew to a close, the sun dipped low, casting an amber hue across the gathering. Every story shared, every moment captured, became a unique thread in the tapestry of voices, each echoing the rich history and connections forged by the community. Amara stood back, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. They had created more than art. They had cultivated an environment where everyone could express their essence, leaving behind insecurities while embracing the beauty of being seen. As they admired the flourishing tapestry, Amara glanced around at the faces shining with hope and inspiration. In this moment, she understood that the voices around her formed a collective strength, one that would guide and uplift them through life's inevitable changes. And so, with shared laughter and intertwined stories, they embraced the promise of tomorrow, ready to navigate their journeys together, forever stitched into the tapestry of voices that defined their village. Love and resilience. The village transformed under the gleaming light of a crisp morning, the air imbued with the delicate scent of freshly bloomed lilies and the earthy aroma of dampened soil. Amara Winslow stepped onto her grandmother's porch, letting the sunlight warm her face. Today was pivotal. It was a celebration of love and resilience, a theme that had emerged naturally from the recent tapestry of voices. As she prepared for the gathering, Amara reflected on the many layers of love that intertwined through their lives: familial love, friendship, and the resilience that arose in the face of adversity. With every shared story that had unfolded, she realized how these elements had shaped their identities and fortitude. Stepping into the cottage, she was greeted by a hive of activity. Agnes, her grandmother, bustled about, arranging a bouquet of wildflowers. "Amara, my dear, come help with the preparations," she called warmly, her silver hair framing her face like a halo. Amara joined her in the kitchen, smiling at the sight of freshly baked pastries cooling on the counter. "It smells wonderful. What's the plan for today?" Agnes paused, her eyes gleaming with wisdom. "We cherish the love we share and honor the strength we glean from each challenge. Today, let us focus on how resilience blooms from the cracks where love has emerged." The gathering began to swell. Women and young girls, all drawn together by the unspoken connection of shared experiences, filled the kitchen with laughter and light. Amara welcomed them, noticing the warm smiles and open arms, each a testament to the journeys they all endured. When everyone settled in a circle, Amara prepared to guide the discussion as Clara, B, and other familiar faces took their places in anticipation. "Let's share stories of love and resilience," she proposed. "Think about moments when love carried you through difficult times." Clara was the first to speak, her voice steady and resolute. "When I lost my father, it felt like my entire world crumbled. Yet, during that hardest season of my life, I found so much strength in our community. Friends rallied around me, showering me with love. That support gave me the resilience to rise again." The room filled with palpable empathy as the women absorbed Clara's heartbreak and strength. It felt both heavy and uplifting, a reminder of the power that love cultivates even in the bleakest of moments. B jumped in next, her expressive smile softening her words. "For me, resilience manifested through my art. After my own struggles with self-esteem, there was a time when I doubted whether I could ever share my work again. But a dear friend reminded me that my creations held love and joy. That pushed me through. My art became my voice, and it helped me reclaim my identity. Encouragement echoed through the circle, and the women began to unearth their memories, weaving together narratives of love shining through trials. Lily shared her story, trembling slightly but finding the strength to speak. My family faced financial struggles, and I felt helpless watching them try to make ends meet. But I discovered that love doesn't solely come from wealth, it comes from getting through hardships together. We grew closer as a family, finding joy in the simplest things. That resilience bonded us. As voices flowed in a harmonious dance, the vivid tapestry of love and resilience began to take shape, a pattern highlighting the beauty, strength, and unity created in the face of adversity. Agnes reflected on her own journey, her voice rich with affection. In my lifetime, I've faced heartaches and loss, but love has been the balm that soothed my soul. My late husband taught me that love doesn't diminish in absence, it transforms and guides us. The heartfelt stories continued, each one unfurling layers of challenge and triumph. Women who had once felt isolated found solace in shared experiences, realizing their journeys intertwined more profoundly than they had known. As the gathering progressed, an air of inspiration enveloped them, knitting their tales together into a vibrant fabric of resilience. And finally, it was Elara's turn to share. There have been many moments when I felt lost and unsure, Elara began, her voice shaking slightly but steady. Returning to this village after years away brought back scars and memories. But in the love of my family and friends, I found renewed strength. Every story I hear reminds me of the beauty in vulnerability. Her words resonated, weaving into the fabric of love and resilience, echoing the support enveloping the room. Just then, the door swung open, revealing Samuel Wright, who stood carrying a basket filled with ripe apples and freshly baked bread. "Did someone say something about love and resilience?" he teased, placing the basket in the center of the circle. Laughter erupted at the unexpected entrance, lifting the atmosphere like a warm breeze. Samuel raised his voice, "When troubles arrive, it's often the love of friends and the strength to carry on that sees us through, isn't it?" Cheers of affirmation erupted, and the atmosphere brimming with encouragement felt infectious. Elara smiled, grateful for the community that had embraced her and inspired her to embrace herself. As the day continued, stories unfolded around snacks and laughter, but the heart of their gathering remained rooted in love. They shared life lessons, treasured moments, and the profound understanding of resilience steeped in the richness of their journeys. As twilight draped its soothing veil over the village, Elara felt a warmth fill her heart. Today had not been just about sharing stories, it had served as a powerful reminder that love and resilience prospered side by side, changing the landscape of their lives. Elara looked around at the faces filled with affection and hope, already imagining how they would continue to uplift and support one another. The tapestry of voices told a story deeper than individual struggles. It revealed the strength that thrived through love, fragile yet indefatigable. In that moment, she knew that her heart and mind were evolving, forever molded by this community's resilience. They carried their shared legacy into the future, ready to conquer challenges together, leaving no voice unheard and no story untold. A new dawn. The village awoke beneath a canvas of soft pastel hues, the dawn breaking like a gentle promise. Elara Winslow stood at the edge of the meadow, her heart swelling with a blend of anticipation and apprehension. Today wasn't just another day, it was a culmination of the stories told, the laughter shared, and the connections forged. The strength of their community had grown into an undeniable force, and she felt the weight of her own journey as it stood at the precipice of a new beginning. As the sun crested the horizon, Elara took a deep breath, breathing in the fragrance of flowers intermingled with the earthy scent of wet grass. She had spent the last few weeks reflecting on the transformative experiences that had shaped her life, and now it was time to embrace whatever lay ahead. Clara joined her at the meadow, her radiant smile reflecting the sunlight. "Look at this beautiful morning. It feels like the world is waking up with us," she beamed, her contagious enthusiasm igniting the air. Elara smiled back, the tension in her shoulders easing slightly. "It does feel special, doesn't it? I've been thinking about everything we've experienced, how far we've come." As they walked toward the village square, Elara sensed the energy in the air shifting, feeling almost electric. The women's collective strength, love, and resilience had built a solid foundation, each story contributing to a community that would always uplift one another. The villagers gathered in the square, an amalgamation of colorful dresses and joyful chatter filling the space. Be moved through the crowd, assisting Agnes in arranging a vibrant display of flowers. Their work commemorated the journey each woman had taken and was woven beautifully into every corner. "Good morning, ladies," Bee exclaimed as she approached Elara and Clara. "Are you ready for today's surprise?" "What surprise?" Clara raised an eyebrow, her curiosity piquing. Bee grinned mischievously. "You'll see. Let's gather everyone for the unveiling." With Clara and Elara by her side, the trio called for the attention of the crowd. As the villagers settled into the square, Elara felt a surge of pride swell within her. They had made it together, and today would showcase that resolve. "Today, we celebrate," Elara began, her voice steady as she addressed the group. "Today marks not only our past but also our future. We've shared stories, laughter and tears, and through it all, we've discovered that our voices matter. Together, we've woven a tapestry that embodies our love and resilience." As she spoke, Elara glanced over at Agnes, who nodded encouragingly. The sense of community in the air fortified her words. "Let us unveil the mural, an artistic representation of our journeys. It's a reminder that we carry our stories in every heartbeat, and they will always be a part of us," she continued, her excitement bubbling as Bee pulled down the cloth veiling the mural. As the bright colors unveiled themselves, gasps of admiration swept through the crowd. The mural, bursting with life and energy, depicted scenes from their stories: wildflowers blooming, intertwined hands, and women embracing one another, framed by the oak tree that had witnessed their journey. Clara stepped up, a tear glistening in her eye. "It's beautiful. Each color represents our dreams, and every brushstroke carries our laughters." The crowd erupted in applause, the sound echoing across the village. At that moment, the harmony of the village rang deeply, as once more, love and strength intertwined like the roots of the old oak tree. As the day unfolded, the villagers participated in heartfelt activities. Some painted their own symbols of resilience and love on smaller canvases, while others wrote letters to their future selves, sharing dreams and aspirations. Elara wandered through the square, observing the joyful interactions. She stopped as she passed a group of young girls who had enthusiastically tangled their hair with flowers, their laughter ringing like chimes. She knelt beside them. "What are you creating?" One of the girls, a bright-eyed girl named Mia, smiled proudly. "We're making crowns. Crowns of strength, love, and friendship." Elara chuckled at the innocence and sincerity radiating from them. "What a wonderful idea. You wear crowns of resilience, and I hope you know how strong you are, just like these flowers." As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the village, Elara returned to the center of the square, her heart buoyed by the feelings of unity that permeated through every heartbeat. She sensed that today had woven a new chapter, not just for herself but for every woman in her village. Agnes joined her, placing her arm around Elara's shoulder. "You've done incredible things, dear. Today was a celebration of love and strength, a new dawn in so many ways." Reflecting on her grandmother's words, Elara realized how the tapestry of their stories would continue to evolve and grow. As the evening's festivities continued into a celebration of life, each woman carried a piece of the collective journey with her, memories forever etched into their hearts. As the stars gleamed above, Elara understood that life would always offer twists and challenges, but the strength of their community would anchor her. Together, they would face whatever lay ahead. With the crescent moon shimmering over the horizon, she embraced the dawn of change. A beautiful journey that would lead toward new possibilities, love, and resilience that would forever intertwine with their shared stories. They were ready for whatever the future held, united, strong, and unwavering.